And I am back. I was having such a good time playing Mechanicus in that most recent session that I decided to just launch right into another recording. So we will go ahead and wrap the turn after putting in that energy building and output cam 8 to help to pay for my eventual Air Force. Let's see. Am I really rolling over the turn with nothing happening? That's curious. Alright, what are we looking at here? What's going to come out and menace us? Some basic Chaos Marines. Nope, these are Raptors. Nope, Warp Talons. Well, back in the day, they used to be called Raptors. I guess nowadays they're probably called Warp Talons because that's easier to copyright. That's usually how it is with Games Workshop nowadays. Oh! Oh, that's quite good! That's quite good! I like that! You love to see it. You love to see Space Marines die in the fields. Hate those guys. I actually really enjoy playing as the standard Space Marines, but I've never really put that much time into playing the Chaos Marines. I don't know if they're really all that fun. Let's see. We can go ahead and have Mr. Dominus take a shot here. Alternatively, we might be able to use the Scryer Skull to spy on what's going on in the city, but I doubt there's anything that interesting or exciting going on there. And I would rather the Overwatch attacks be conserved for the Cataphrone Destroyers if I can. So, well, I'm not going to be able to conserve them. It's going to have to be, they'll finish him off. Okay. And down he goes. On that note, the Manipulus will be bringing the Dominus back up to size. The Dominus has been doing about as much tanking as I remember him tanking in my prior Mechanicus playthrough where I fought so many swarms of Tyranids. It was absurd. I remember that being quite good. Now, Output Cam 8 has put in another energy building. Helican is ready to get to work on another building. Let's see, what did I finish here? What was I working on? I don't know. Nonetheless, we will be putting in here, what did we want to put in here? We probably wanted to put in a Air Force building of some kind, an airport of some kind. Let's see, the airport, while it consumes 3 energy, does output 1 food, 1 ore, and 1 influence. None of that is bad. So I might go ahead and take this tile here and put the airport on that tile, as the other tiles going on in the vicinity of Helican all seem quite useful for other purposes. I may also want to go ahead and use a quick turn to take the Ruins of Vol, so that the Ruins of Vol can be used to increase my research output, as I am getting close to some pretty good text that I would like to have soon. Now, here in Output Cam 8, I am going to go ahead and put in a Genitor Cataprodium, as I would like more infantry soon, especially with the amount of infantry I will be putting out in the future from the food supply of Output Cam 8, which is pretty ridiculous. Let's see here. Food and influence are its primary outputs. However, it's unlikely I'll want to use the influence output of the actual influence buildings to exploit the Jacaro encampment, rather than just simply getting a smaller amount out of the Genitor Cataprodiums. Easy for me to say. So, even though this does provide food and influence increases, I would rather put the Genitor Cataprodiums right here, let's say. I will have to look into even more of an energy economy in the future in both Output Cam 8 and Helican, but for now I'll be prioritizing Genitor Cataprodiums so that I can start pumping out Skitarii and Cataphrone Destroyers here. Helican, I have... what was it I put in? Right, I expanded to the Ruins of Vol to increase my research output, which I believe had a pretty significant increase. Yes, that is plus 6% from features, it appears. So, yeah, that's quite good. And we will be wrapping the turn up. There will be another Cataphrone Destroyer coming out of Helican. I'm glad I've got another of these guys ordered. They are very good. I will not be commissioning another one in Helican, though, as they are very food hungry, and I do not necessarily have the food to pay for them right now. Now, we've expanded Helican into this tile here, and I will be putting in an airport. It will take 4 turns to produce, but it should be worth it once it is done. The ability to drop Cataphrone Destroyers behind the Chaos Marine cities could be pretty good. Okay, we've got solar reflectors, so we are now getting nearly double the output from energy buildings that we used to. That's very good. That's going to make my life a lot easier. And we can finally look into the second to last tier of the research tree, where there is a whole lot of stuff I am curious about. Let's see, command uplink. Makes my flying units reduce nearby morale loss. That's not great. Increase population cap on the population cap buildings. That seems quite good. But I really want Hive World approval so that I can expand and take in the Jacaro encampment and the pipelines here in Output Cam 8, and take in the pipeline feature here in Helican. As all three of those seem like they would be quite beneficial for very little cost. Okay. Now let's see here. Does not look like there's anything I need to change on the front line. I would still like to get some more heavy forces out. At this point, I'm so close to getting an Air Force out that I may want to hold off on an attack until I can get a plane full of Cataphron destroyers, which would be very funny to throw out there. Now, what I'm going to do in Output Cam 8 is I am going to put in another Genitor Cataprarium. It will provide only a little bit of food, not really anything worth caring about, but it will also increase the output speed of Cataphron destroyers down from 9 turns into hopefully a more reasonable amount. I'll hold off on producing any Cataphron destroyers until I deal with the food cost. Actually, what I should be doing, because now I look up in the top left, and I see that I have a considerable excess of food. So what I will be doing in Output Cam 8 is ordering a unit of Cataphron destroyers. They are clearly pretty affordable at the amount I've got, and I'll be moving the Cataphron destroyers I've got up to the front line. They have a range of 2, let's see, on their projectiles. Their damage scales with the armor of the target unit. That's quite good. And it is... They do less damage if they have moved. That's good to keep in mind. And they do slightly more damage at close range, but it's not the super impressive armor-piercing weapon that does that. So I'm less worried about that. It looks like Chaos... I hear the sound of Chaos fighting somebody very close to their city, which raises some interesting questions. Okay, this Cataphron, I'm going to push it up just a little bit and see if I can mess with them, just for fun. Their city is getting to take some shots here. What's the amount of armor on a city? 6. The thing that makes a city impressive defense-wise is apparently the massive amount of health it has. Oh my god! Cataphron destroyers just wreck Chaos Lords. That is good. I'm happy to see that. Curious then how much damage Cataphron destroyers can do to cities, because that could be quite the return on investment for these boys. Let's get to work on our first transport unit, loaded up with... It looks like it has 6 transport slots, and Cataphron destroyers take up 2 each. So, wait, what was it? Hang on. Or was it, they are very bulky, so they take up 3 slots each. Okay, so each plane can carry, each flying unit can carry 2 units of Cataphron destroyers. That's still really good. Let's see, here in Helican, what we're going to look into next, we're going to need more energy, but we're also going to need more food. We're going to need really a little bit more of everything. However, I am curious about putting out more airports, just so I can get out these flyer units even faster. So for now, I'll be paying for that, even though that may be an unwise choice in the long run. The Chaos Marines are moving up a few units to try and deal some damage to the Cataphron destroyers, which would be wise. They really should be throwing everything they've got at the Cataphron destroyers, because these guys seem like they would be the Chaos Marines' bane. They took the Mark of Slanesh to try and get away. It was not a wise choice, because there's no real space to get away from the Cataphron destroyers here. Now, let's see. What we're going to do here is watch these Chaos Marines take every shot imaginable from every unit imaginable. Good lord. They were just killed by the Overwatch. Excellent. Alright then. Let's see. The Master of Machines ability on the Dominus can heal them for 6 health points, but they are missing more than 6. So let's slowly advance here and take some shots at their city. That's quite a bit of damage to do against a city. That's quite good to see. We will be having the Mechanicus move up to do some healing to the Cataphron destroyers, get them back up to speed and ready to tear down this city. Let's see, the Dominus, we'll go ahead and have him move up ahead of the rest of the army. He's quite a bit tankier, so he doesn't care so much about anything that threatens him. He's a grumpy, cantankerous old man. He does not have time for you youngins, you whippersnappers thinking that you can whip him. And the Dominus is going to do a lot of damage to the city by his own self. Nice. You love to see it. Okay, these Cataphron destroyers are ready to move up and start taking some shots at the city themselves. I'll keep them a healthy distance away from the city, as I would prefer that the Castellans move up and take the shots if they can. The Castellans are a fair bit more tanky with their damage reductions, their health, their armor. Do the Cataphron destroyers have Feel No Pain? No, but they do have Bionics. That's not as good as Feel No Pain. But nonetheless, it is still fairly good for tanking. But I want the Castellans to do the majority of the tanking because they are better at the job. Okay, you, Mr. Castellan, are going to move up, and we're going to also have the Scutari finally move up. They are just about ready to do what they were built to do. That is a lot of Scutari. That is a ludicrous quantity of Scutari, considering the heavy front line I am also throwing at the Chaos Marines here. I might have been a tad over-prepared, but I was really just waiting on the Cataphron destroyers. Now that we've got a second infantry building, a second Genitor Carpradium built in Output Cam 8, we should go ahead and get out ahead of this food issue before it becomes a real problem. Which the energy problem is also going to be an issue soon, but we can ideally go ahead and we can ideally depend on a little bit of a wealth there to cover for the initial costs. Now the Castellans we're going to go ahead and have sit up here on the front. The Mechanicus can cover for whatever damages the Cataphron destroyers take. Ideally, he will not take much damage himself from the city. And let's see, we can have everybody here go ahead and dish out some damage to the city. Excellent, and we are wearing it down quite rapidly. The Cybernetica Datasmith can move up here, and he will also be ready to go ahead and support the Cataphron destroyers with his healing. Alternatively, healing the Mechanicus if the Mechanicus needs healing, because the Mechanicus is really more valuable than either of the Cataphrons. And the Scutari will sit in the back just to make sure that some kind of Helldrake doesn't go into the back positions, though even then, a Helldrake could pretty easily fly to this position here and hit our Mechanicus in the side. Okay. Slowly but surely, we are whittling the city down. There we go. And we will skip the rest of our units, as we do not have anything for them to do. Output Cam 8, we will be going a bit more nuts with the food output for a little bit. We are very close to wiping out one of the two Chaos Marine cities that I can see. Now, in the past when I fought the Chaos Marine AI, it was pretty nuts in terms of spamming loads of cities everywhere, wherever it could. So there are probably more cities than this. It's also worth noting that the fact that they are not throwing any sort of real defense at me here, but have nonetheless been producing plenty of units, raises the question of, are the Chaos Marines facing their own pretty significant enemies on the other side, which is going to be a problem for my future self to deal with. For now, getting rid of the Chaos Marines opens up a whole new world of exploration for me, which is good enough on its own. And that is the first Chaos Marine city down. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. Okay, that is a level up for the Dominus. He is level 6, and he will now start producing 12 influence and 12 research. Very, very good. That is a big bonus for my economy. Okay, the rest of my army will be temporarily skipped, as I would prefer for them to move as a unit instead of moving piecemeal and leaving holes or getting exposed in some odd places. Helican is ready to put in another building here. We're going to need more energy, and we are going to soon be expanding Helicon onto the pipeline here that will be making Helicon a better energy city than it currently is. So we are probably going to want to go ahead and start expanding out in the direction of the pipeline, so that when it is ready, we will be taking it in and significantly increasing our energy output in both cities. Let's see, output cam 8 is ready to expand onto that energy output, as is Helicon on its pipeline. We've got another set of Cataphrone destroyers coming out of output cam 8, and we will be commissioning a fourth set of them, because they are just that good. Okay, now it's time for our front line to move up. Mr. Castellan can take quite a bit of damage, so we'll be telling him to move up first and tanking Foul Reaver Hope's missile attacks they will be throwing at us out of the gate. Mr. Dominus, he's a little bit farther back, so he won't be able to get in there and take quite as many heads as he would ordinarily like to take, but he'll get as much done as he needs. The Scutari and the Tech Priests are going to move up a little more slowly. Okay, Manipulus, the Tech Priest Manipulus, did in fact level up. We'll get Canticles of the Omnissiah, or whatever it's called, the research improvement, but it will not be very good, especially this late in the game. Okay, we'll be getting Hammer of Wrath on both of our Castellan robots to do what damage they can to Foul Reaver's Hope coming in, but I do not expect them to be the majority damage dealer. And my Cataphrone destroyers cannot see through the cityscape, and as a result, they are not going to be able to hit Foul Reaver's Hope from where they are sitting. Let's see, I'll be going for Optate restrictions. Increased population cap in every city sounds quite good. Okay, the Foul Reaver's Hope is actually focusing on the Castellans. That is what I wanted to see. Let's see here. That way, the Cataphrone destroyers can more or less comfortably just throw whatever they want at the city. Let's see here. This Castellan will be moving to the left a little bit to give the Cataphrone destroyers space. While, let's see, the Dominus is going to go ahead and collect some heads. Cataphrone destroyer is going to get him a piece. So is Mr. Castellan, either of these Castellans, and the Cataphrone destroyers. Alright, and we'll be moving up the healers. They will be necessary soon, I feel. That Castellan took quite a bit of damage from Foul Reaver's Hope. We probably want to move one of these guys over, one of these Scutari over to take this pipeline, which is currently sitting neutral. Output Cam 8 has taken in this pipeline, and as a result is now putting out even more energy than they did before. We're going to want to put in even more energy buildings here to deal with my Air Force. Meanwhile, this gentleman, the Archaeopter Transvector, will be moving up to load himself up on various units and presumably functioning as some kind of quite good transport. The Archaeopter Transvector only has 4 slots for transportation, so he can store a singular unit of Cataphrone destroyers and then an extra unit of Scutari. I can work with that. Okay, we can order a second plane here in Helicon. We will hold off just for now for the amount of energy I'm making. It is not very good. So that could be a problem if I wind up spending more than I have. Okay, this Castellan is going to... Can he back up? He cannot. It does not look like he can. These Cataphrone destroyers are going to move over here then. And we will get the Manipulus in to go ahead and heal him. There we go. And then everyone else will get their hits in against the city. If they can, though, some of the parts of the cityscape are apparently pretty difficult to work with. But we are whittling the city down at quite a bit of speed. And we will be taking that pipeline for ourselves, a free 2 energy. Can't complain about that. Okay. Helicon. What was Helicon working on? Helicon expanded onto that Prometheum relay pipeline, and as a result, are putting out quite a bit more energy. And they will be putting out even more immediately as soon as I set this building up here. The transvector will be moving, wow, quite some distance forward. 6 moves, very nice. And eventually picking up one of these Scutari to drop somewhere in the opponent's back lines, ideally wherever would be most inconvenient for the enemy. Let's see, Helican can also get to work on some kind of flying unit. Maybe I'll order a Stratoraptor. That seems like a solid scouting unit that can handle itself. They put out another Helldrake, which will be going neutral as soon as the city falls, as I am not going to let it distract me. Oh, it's going to go behind my lines and go after the Mechanicus. That does make sense. Actually, it's just going to erase an entire unit of Scutari. This isn't really that much trouble for me, but it is annoying. And that's a video game AI classic, to not actually cause any real trouble, but just to be a pain. Okay, and we will go ahead and continue whittling down the city of Foul Reaver's Hope. Now, this gentleman here, the Tech Priest Mechanicus, cannot electroshock the Helldrake because the Helldrake is flying, and as a result, it is immune to the stun ability, which is evidently a melee ability. We're going to get some air-to-air combat, but not some very impressive air-to-air combat. And the Mechanicus, he can try and take some shots here, but it's not going to be that impressive. Oh, wow, that ability is even worse than I thought. It is a... You can only use it once every 5 turns. That's terrible. I mean, there's probably a cheese strat around it. That seems like the kind of thing that would have a cheese strat associated with it, but... Sheesh, that does not seem very good. Okay, Mr. Datasmith will sit right here. If he moves up any, I suspect that the Helldrake will come for him next. There's a decent chance the Helldrake will come for him anyways. Alright, output cam 8. It might be smart for me to go ahead and order another Datasmith out of Helican, because that guy's probably as good as dead, with how the AI generally likes to pick out your weakest unit in an army and send their flyers after it. Let's see, output cam 8 is ready to put in. Well, we're making pretty good money in all regards. We could stand to probably put in another Genitor Cataprodium. Just so we've got absolutely absurd amounts of output in every direction. No, let's actually invest in taking in this Jacaro encampment. That would be wise. The Helldrake has decided it's going to leave instead. A curious choice, but a choice nonetheless. Chaos is trying to throw what they've got left at me. They may kill the Dominus. The Dominus barely lives. Good for him. Alright, and let's go ahead and erase the city of Foul Reaver's Hope, the godforsaken hellhole that it is, literal hellhole in this case, off the face of the earth. And after that, we will move the Dominus out of harm's way. Okay, now let's see. You, Mr. Cataphron Destroyer, are primed to go ahead and just kill that Chaos Lord. He is gone. Those Obliterators are potential trouble, but I am doubtful. Let's see. We're going to move the Mechanicus up. We're going to have him heal the Dominus. The Dominus, despite how much damage he took, is not feeling the morale effects of it at all. He doesn't care. Alright, the Mechanicus will go ahead and use Data Blessed Auto Sermon. No, he won't. The Dominus doesn't do nearly enough damage to the Obliterators for that to be helpful. He will invest in Galvanic Fields? Sure. His Galvanic Fields does consume an action. That is unfortunate. Okay. The Tech Priest Dominus is going to invest in, let's see, Lord of the Machine Cult, I suppose. And then he will apply Wrath of Mars to himself and do a very small amount of damage to the Obliterators. Well, gotta accept the little victories, I guess. the Skitari will be able to do a little bit more damage. The Oodians. Now that's a name. Yeah, they're gonna do a good amount of damage here. Okay, let's see here. The Archaeopter Transvector is carrying a Cataphron and a Skitari. There is a Helldrake trying to run away, and it heals with time. I remember that much about them. I despise these things deeply. So what we should do, as lame as it is, as much as I would rather go for the more exciting alternative of invading the opponent's base, it is smarter to chase this thing down so it can't be a problem for me in the future. And we will have the Cataphron Destroyer also get dropped out of the helicopter and do a fair bit of damage itself. Ideally, it won't get away. It might, however, since it is a flying unit. The Martian Dragoons also can get moved around. I probably should not have moved him right there. The Obliterators are probably going to kill this guy next turn. That is unfortunate. Nonetheless, I'll go ahead and heal these Cataphron Destroyers. Okay, we have a 4th unit of Cataphron Destroyers on the board. Excellent. We have taken in the Influence Outpost right here, and we are now generating a absolutely monstrous, absurd level of influence. If we were to put in another sub-cloister, that would probably be quite wasteful, except that it also produces a population limit and a loyalty. I have only just now noticed that. That is really good. I should be looking into producing more sub-cloisters. Let's see, what's a tile that is not very good? That I would not mind wasting on a building that is otherwise not going to generate too much resources. Because I need to be putting out more heroes if I'm going to be producing that amount of influence. So I'll be expanding to that tile. And I'll be ordering another set of... I'm tempted to go ahead and start filling up planes with Skitari and just dropping them all over the map. So I'm going to actually commission a Skitari. Helican here, let's see. I'm going to order another, let's see, Dominus, probably? The free research and 4 influence these guys provide is pretty tempting. And while I'm working on things, let's see. I'm going to start putting sub-cloisters in Helican, because I'm doing pretty good for just about all kinds of output. So that sounds quite good. And now I'll exit the city. Now that Helldrake is going to evidently run away. Though Skitari nearly got wiped out by that Obliterator, I am shocked that they still draw breath. And I do not expect the Datasmith will be able to heal them to full. So I'll move him over here and let the Manipulus do the healing instead. Now, none of these guys are really primed to do all that much damage to the Obliterator. But they can provide some support. The Cataphron Destroyer is far more likely to do some damage, but the tree line is unfortunately blocking him. Alright, let's keep moving around. The last city it looks like the Chaos Marines have is not at all an impressive one, so that's nice to see. Just about ready to be done with these boys. Alright, these Skitari are ready to take their shots in reply. Deal some damage back to the folks who dealt so much damage to them. I'm going to load up these Cataphron Destroyers into this Transvector and see if I can find where the Helldrake went. There it went. However, I'm not going to be able to catch it. It looks like it is outpacing me quite rapidly. With the Archaeopter Transvector having 6 movement and the Helldrake having 6 movement. Oh, okay. No, I was just seeing things when I thought the Helldrake moved faster. Okay. Okay, Output Cam 8 is ready to put in a building. They are ready to put in their first sub-cloister for a free loyalty and a free pop cap. Very nice. And we will go ahead and end the turn. So, whatever it is that is menacing the Chaos Marines, we are about to see it firsthand. I'm kind of excited, but kind of scared. And whatever it is doing a lot of damage to the Helldrake. The Helldrake is going to try and run away into the night. Optate restrictions. Alright, excellent. Let's see, what has the population cap gone up to in Output Cam 8 and Helican? Not a huge increase. Okay. The Scutari Vanguards are ready to move down. Well, I'm not sure where I really want them to go. I kind of want them to hang around here for the next transvector. Okay, let's see here. Speaking of transvectors, let's go ahead and unload the Scutari here that it's carrying. To go ahead and take this. What is this? Is this an Imperial Guard outpost? It looks like an Imperial Guard outpost, I think. Could be Sisters of Battle, though. I've never had to fight the Sisters of Battle. And we will go ahead and take that Jakaro encampment for ourselves for the free resources. Why not? Theft is fun. Okay, we are ready to go ahead and just finish off this last sad little obliterator here. And there he goes. Off to the great beyond. Okay. Well, this is a lot of wireweed. We better go ahead and set the data smith to the task of tearing it up. It's just simply an inconvenience in the current position. And the rest of my army is going to be moving up very, very slowly. Considering the amount of obstacles I am seeing here. We also have a Castellan that can move up, but only onto wireweed, which is unfortunate. Alright, Output Cam 8 is ready to put out another unit of infantry of some kind. We will put out another set of Scutari. Meanwhile, for research, we finally can go ahead. Terran Generalism, if memory serves, is quite great. Blessed Conduits seemed quite great. Icons of the Omnissiah is amazing, because loyalty is the best thing ever. Let's see here. Speaking of loyalty, let's go ahead and pump in a little bit more loyalty into Helican. And we will end our turn. They're starting to throw a little bit at me, but with such a small population size, they only have 71 health on their city. It's not going to take much time to kill them. Okay, we did see a Chaos Lord running off into the shadows, and there he is. Now, with this annoying forest protecting their city, it's going to be a little bit difficult moving in. But slowly but surely, we will get in. And with that, we will have annihilated the last of the Chaos Marine cities and dealt with the early game problem that I've been seeing a lot of. Goodbye, Mr. Chaos Lord. Didn't like you. Glad to see you're gone. Alright, let's continue our mission of going around and stealing various outposts. Yes, it is the Sisters of Battle. Okay. Well, on that note, let's go ahead and see if we can't get a free kill here on these girls. Okay, they have a city here, but it's a very small, unimpressive city. Goodbye to them. Okay. The Dominus has leveled up, and he is ready to invest in Lord of the Machine Cult. Well, that's not bad. Okay, we're going to be having a lot of Scutari here just hanging out, waiting for the Transvector to pick them up. I've only just now noticed that the Scutari have tails. Or at least the Scutari Vanguards. You see that? They got tails. It's coming out of their backpacks, I know, but when they walk, it really looks like they got tails wagging behind them. Okay, Helican. Let's see, what was it that I was putting in Helican? I was putting in a second subcloister. That's great, because I'm going to be putting in a third subcloister. And on that note, I will be also producing a second transvector so I can be dropping crowds of 4 Scutari into enemy territory. Okay, meanwhile to the north, we are seeing some of the Sisters of Battle's Air Force, which is taking some hits off the Cataphron Destroyer. And as a result, we will be pulling out. But we have somewhat of an idea of what's going on to the north. Mr. Castellan here can push up. We will be, meanwhile, consuming a bit of the local forestry. And pushing up and on to the Dark Fortress. Let's go ahead and pop Wrath of Mars. And the Dominus on his lonesome will deal half the health of the Soul-Stripped Waste in damage. Don't mess with this old guy. Sheesh. Grandpa's cranky. Okay. We might be able to wipe out Soul-Stripped Waste this turn. Pretty close to it, it looks like. Let's see, can we? No. That is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm glad to have dealt this much damage to it this quickly. And it looks like we'll be able to move on very quickly to a Sisters of Battle city right here, which is not very impressive. Meanwhile, the Archaeopter Stratoraptor will be able to do some scouting around and seeing where there are some vulnerable spots for me to sneak in and take some free outposts. Alright, we've got our first sub-cloister built in Output Cam 8. Excellent. Seeing that population cap and loyalty go up is very nice. And on that note, let's see. How are we doing for resources? We're doing good for resources of all kinds. So we can afford to take the time to put in a second sub-cloister. And while we've got that second sub-cloister in, we are producing another Dominus and Helican. But the potential for more output, let's see. Another Manipulus would probably be pretty good just for providing so much healing. And if we can use the Transvector to move him up to the front lines, then he'll get his use. So once I get some Transvectors going, I can really just start throwing units around if I so please. Oh, I didn't get the kill! Oh! There will be revenge! Oh no! Oh, it's just Assault Marines and Sisters of Battle. Oh no, those are Retributors. Those are Meltaguns, aren't they? Oh no. Let's go ahead and do what damage we can to these ladies so that they aren't a problem for me. Only 1 AP on Radium Carbines? Really? They seem to do so much damage to the armored units. Nonetheless. Going against Sisters of Battle, I know at the very least that I can, with the increased room to breathe here and the increased economy I have, I can probably just outnumber these girls with sheer amounts of Scutari. Okay. And we'll be bringing to bear all kinds of things that will just give them all different kinds of a bad day. Now, I empathize with the Sisters of Battle here. I have had plenty of times in this game where I have been delighted to have cleared out some enemy that was presenting a problem for me, only to find that there's something much worse on the other side. In this case, the Sisters of Battle cleared out the Chaos Marines, and found behind them a positively repressed sense of violence amongst a series of machine gun bearing machine men who were ready to get some killing in because they had been deprived of it all game. Good lord, and there go 2 units of Sisters of Battle right off the board. Immediately. You'll love to see it. Alright. And this Transvector is ready to push back here and drop off these Cataphren destroyers, allowing the Martian Dragoons, which is of course this Datasmith, to go ahead and give him some quick healing. And after that, the Transvector will pick them back up and go back to harassing the Sisters of Battle's back line and scouting out what we are looking at in terms of potential future threats, as well as what outposts we can steal. I do see Recaf Leaf, I see Imperial Guardsmen. Okay, and we can specifically see a mobile holo projector. I would love to steal that. But my first priority is to take out the city of Thriceborn Shrine, and also take the Siren Caster they have next to it, because Siren Casters are amazing! And I love them. Okay, here in Helican, let's see here. We can put in another sub-cloister for another set of influence and a population cap spot. So I'll be doing just that. Now, let me look at something. Whoop, hang on, clicked on there. Optate restrictions only increases the pop cap of Hab Thanes, so not sub-cloisters. Icons of the Omnissiah, though, increases loyalty output from any building that outputs loyalty, which presumably does include sub-cloisters. Good to know. Output cam is ready to commission another unit of Scutari, so I'll do just that. And the increased loyalty from the subcloisters is making it where output cam 8 is putting out a Scutari every 2 turns rather than a Scutari every 3 turns. So that's nice to see. Alright. Gonna need to do a fair bit of healing around here, all around. For instance, this Castellan is going to need it. There we go. And we are going to be pushing up onto the opponent's territory, seeing how much of the surrounding area the Sisters of Battle have claimed. And boy, oh boy, is there a lot of grass here. This is in the Warhammer 40k universe, this is a veritable wonderland. This is a paradise world. Why are we fighting over this place? This is great. I mean, I know that there's the Catachan Destroyers? No, Catachan Death somethings? I don't remember. The stupid big metal scorpions. Those guys. You know. Can I take the mobile holo projector using my Stratoraptor? Yes, I can. Can I? No, I can't. Okay. Makes sense that only infantry can claim it. Alright. I can see an Imperial Guard city up there. Okay, we've got the Dominus out and about. Let's order him to move on to the Jacaro encampment. He will get there eventually. And he will go ahead and take the Mechanicus Locum, which will mitigate his influence cost and bring in free research and influence. Very, very nice. A great hero ability. Big fan. Big fan. Ooh, we've got our Transvector out. Probably what we're going to want to do is we're going to load it up with 3 Scutari and the Dominus, as he can be quite helpful with the Scutari. Well, it'd make more sense to load up a Manipulus with the Scutari instead, since he can heal and buff the Scutari, whereas the Dominus, probably it's just better to load him up by himself. I mean, the Dominus is such a cantankerous, violent old man that I suspect he can take on nearly anything the opponents can throw at him, regardless of circumstance. Which, let's see, at a 480 influence cost, let's hold off on commissioning another one just now. So, let's see, it would be a 360 cost for the Manipulus as well. So we'll hold off on producing any more for a minute. But not much longer than a minute, I suspect. Okay, we can order another Stratoraptor, that does sound nice. But ordering another Transvector would be quite good for getting the units that I build on this little peninsula out to the wider world. So, think I'm gonna invest in another Transvector, yeah. Okay, the Transvector is ready to be loaded full of dudes. Excellent. And because I am impatient, rather than waiting to fit in a 4th Scutari, I'm going to go ahead and fly around with this Transvector full of Scutari and start putting in the work, taking out barbarians, what remaining barbarians there are on the map, and claiming outposts. The Stratoraptor can get a good look for what's going on elsewhere on the screen. Okay, these boys are going to continue to explore the forests and ruins around here, see where the remainder are of the Sisters of Battle. It looks like there's not really that much left to worry about. So, in that case, let's see. We'll go ahead and throw our last heal. No, it's cool. The Transvector doesn't need that much healing. The Transvector is going to fly off to somewhere where it can be more useful. Okay, just keep on pushing the army forward, and let's get the Codesmith up here to go ahead and start annihilating some of this wireweed. There we go. I don't like the wireweed, I want it gone. My wish is his command. Okay, we can execute a queued order to move the Dominus up to the Jacaro encampment. Output Cam 8 is ready to put in a new sub-cloister. Excellent. Let's see, yep, there. And the next turn we will have icons of the Omnissiah, which will be increasing our influence, our loyalty output by quite a lot. And that'll be good. Oh, this Tech Priest Dominus, I didn't move him, okay. It looks like they've claimed quite a few resources around here. That looks like a city. That is a city. Okay, is that their main city? There's some kind of gimmick with the Sisters of Battle where they can build a city that's only one tile. I don't know how that works. I need to play the Sisters of Battle next. They probably are a lot more reasonable to play on your first try than the Eldar. I think I've heard that they're a little bit OP, but then people always say the new army is OP. Alright, I'm gonna order another set of Scutari. Why not? That's mildly annoying. Alright. Icons of the Omnissiah researched. Excellent. We'll be going ahead and telling a Scutari to jump out here and claim that ore field, and then finish off these Vespids. The next turn, those Scutari will be hopping back on board, and the Transvector will be heading off to the next outpost to go ahead and steal. It looks like the Sisters of Battle were so occupied fighting the Chaos that they did not really stop to worry about claiming any outposts, which is probably to their detriment. Not that I expect the AI to be that particularly intelligent. Okay. The Guard, I don't even know what they're up to. Presumably being some degree of menace. Okay, the Dominus, we're going to want him to move up front. Or front-ish. Let's see, what are we looking at here in terms of Sisters of Battle City? I guess it's irrelevant. I'm going to want to take out Thriceborn Shrine first. Which, Thriceborn Shrine has a health of only 68. That's very small. So we're going to be able to take it out very quickly and claim the Siren Caster it is sitting on. I like the noise the little wheels make on the Cataphren... What is it? Cataphren Destroyers. There we go. On the Cataphren Destroyers. They make kind of little, like, RC wheel noises. It's kind of childish and silly. Oh my god, it's a wild Castellan. Get the Data Smith over here. It's time for him to do what he was born to do. It's like one of the few opportunities he'll get. That's probably the only opportunity he'll get to do that in this game. Meanwhile, the Manipulus is in the back, which is exactly where he should be. Stratoraptor is ready to continue exploring the map. Let's see what's going on far to the north here. A lot of outposts claimed by the Guard. They did ignore the recaf fields, though, so there's something I can hit. Let's see. Here in Helican, we have put in our last subcloister. We're ready to start production on any other building, all the stuff we've been ignoring up until now. So, with that ready to start, we probably could use some food. Output Cam 8 might be busy for a little bit, but it is pretty easily our best food city. Probably want to finish our plate on some of the buildings we've already started work on, though. So it's probably going to be best to put in more of the airports and get the Archaeopters. God, that's such a weird name. Get the Archaeopters whenever we want them, whenever we need them. Let's see. Oh, an upgrade for Knight Crusaders. Not bad. I'll look into that in the future. But for now, I'd rather look into Terran Generalism to get the increased outputs of just about everything. Let's see. Our output of loyalty has not increased by very much at all. Looks like it's only an increase of 2 in either city. So we are going to probably soon start on our rather serious loyalty industry, because once you get into the late game, the loyalty buffs are just that good. Oh, I see the Guard is sieging the Sisters from the north. So they're throwing all different kinds of whatever at them. That's interesting to see. And that will be it for the city of Thriceborn Shrine. They are D-E-A-D dead. Meanwhile, Oculum de Lucia, little bit, looks kind of undefended, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop a unit of Cataphren Destroyers in its backyard. It looks like the Guard has been menacing. The Sisters of Battle look like they've been caught between a rock and a hard place between the Guard and the Chaos Marines. That's unfortunate for them. Good for me, though. Okay, can the Manipulus go ahead and heal these last Cataphron Destroyers? No, they can, but the Cataphron Destroyers will not be able to move in the same turn. That is unfortunate. These Cataphron Destroyers can contribute to the destruction of Oculum, though. The Sisters of Battle are going to be taken off the map much faster than I expected. I was kind of expecting the Sisters of Battle to put up a bigger fight than this. I suppose, in a way, I got very lucky that there was, for all this map, the guys that were blocking me into my own little peninsula, the Chaos Marines, had someone spawn very close to them, and close enough to be a menace. Okay. This Dominus, we can go ahead and move in, and let's go shopping. Let's purchase, let's see, we've got 789 influence, so we'll be purchasing a Tantalizing Icon, a Scrolls of Magnus, and that is all that we will purchase? The Jacaro Digital Weapon sounds nice. So does Falshu's Wing, though. They all sound pretty good. The Uncreator Gauntlet would be good on a variety of heroes, except for the ones that the Mechanicus gets. But I'll just go for the Tantalizing Icon and the Scrolls of Magnus. They're simple ones to get. They increase my economy. I like to increase my economy. Economy, good. I like economy. Okay. Now, the Transvector will be moving up here. And we will be stealing... Hang on, let's see. The Recaf Leaf with 1 unit of Skitarii. And with another unit of Skitarii, we will be moving up and stealing their mobile holo projector. And just getting extra free health. Always good. Okay. The Guard, oh wow, the Guard looks like they've got quite a few units. Including these Stormtrooper dudes who look quite spooky. I've never built a lot of those guys as the Guard, which I feel was probably a mistake, wasn't it? Probably should have built some of those. I can apparently hit them with the las cannons that are built into the back of the helicopter, even though I am facing the opponent that I am shooting at. Fascinating method, really. Okay, let's use this Transvector to do some cargo shipping. Let's see, these boys are ready to go ahead and take that Sirencaster. Excellent. I enjoy free loyalty. And we have another round of hits to take against Oculum de Lucia. Or do we? No, we do not. Though the Archaeopter Transvector does have the ability to take a shot. They won't do much damage, but it's nice. Okay. Helican is ready to put out another flying unit of some kind. For now, we will hold off. Until I get more of a crazy energy economy going, at the very least. Alright. Now, right here, as I'm about to roll over this Sisters of Battle city, I feel now would probably be a good time to wrap things up. We finished off the Chaos Marines, and we escaped our tiny little peninsula to see the wider world. Conveniently, we wiped out the Space Marines around the same time that we got a good system of air travel going, which also expands our exploration opportunities quite a bit. But regardless, I am going to come up with something to say at the end of the video. No, I am excited to come back to play more Mechanicus and Gladius. These guys are really fun. Like I said, I need to try the Sisters of Battle. I need to put more time in with just about every race in this game. Except, evidently, the Talon and the Mechanicus, which I've put enough time with to do quite well with. I would love to play more of this game. It is competing right now, though, with a variety of other games for space and time. But nonetheless, I definitely intend on coming back to this, and I'm definitely intending on coming back for further games. So, either which way, I will see you guys in the next part where we presumably roll over what is left of the Sisters of Battle and start what may be a pretty serious feud with the Imperial Guard, looking at how many cities they have and how substantial of size they seem to be just seeing the fringes of them. And I will see you folks later.